How's it going, folks? Brian Blessing in Las Vegas. Always thrilled to be with you at bangthebook.com. As if we don't have enough on the betting menu, let's make it a buffet. Let's bring college basketball into the equation. Season starts on Friday. We've got some betting tips, trends, angles, future odds for you right here in this video. Don't forget, follow along on Twitter at Bang the Book. And the Bang the Book Sports Betting Podcast is always featuring great information for you. College hoops, future odds. Well, how about right out of the gate? Season starts Friday. Duke #1, Michigan State #2, and the odds 5-1 on Duke, 11-2 on Michigan State. Tuesday next week, these two teams bump heads in Chicago. And the other game of that doubleheader, how about Kentucky and Kansas, #4 and 5 respectively. #3 is Arizona. They're 8-1. Kentucky's 10-1. North Carolina 12-1. Kansas 14-1. Wichita State is one of those teams that is very highly thought of. It's 16-1. So there are a number of teams. In Villanova, of course, you got to look long and hard at 20-1. But in the early stages of a college basketball season, what are some of the ways to attack it? Well, information's certainly critical. You got to find out injuries. You got to find out suspensions. Well, UCLA is highly publicized. They're in China. 3 of their players, including LiAngelo Ball, arrested for shoplifting. That could send UCLA into a tizzy. But trust me when I tell you, with all these college basketball teams that are out there, there'll be numerous suspensions, kids that violated rules, academics, whatever it may be at the start of the season. And sometimes they fall through the cracks. Getting that information certainly can get you off to a good start in a college basketball season. And then injuries are another one, where all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're all fired up to play your first game of the season on a team, and all of a sudden one of their star forwards has a sprained ankle that you didn't know about. So you got to do your due diligence and do your homework, especially in the early stages of a season. And then the other thing will be the Cinderellas, these small schools that get their opportunity against the big boys, because you know once they get into conference play, no high-profile program is going to leave conference play to go walk into a potential buzzsaw against a talented, smaller school. But these schools will get their opportunities early on. You'll also get regional rivalry games where there's a ton of intensity even out of the gate. Western New York, Canisius, and Buffalo on the weekend. You get a New Mexico State game. And then the holiday tournaments, the preseason tournaments, and the holiday tournaments are right around the bend. And here's the thing. Find out who travels well. We get this firsthand here in Las Vegas for the holiday tournaments over at the Orleans. Bottom line is, some of these teams, you know they're bringing an army in there. And even at the end of the year, I'll even tell you right now, St. Mary's and Gonzaga probably will bump heads again when they get to the West Coast Conference tournament. And Gonzaga brings 5,000 people. St. Mary's brings 500. It says neutral court. It's not a neutral court. It's a home game for Gonzaga. So do your homework. Find out who travels well. All these little nuggets of information can really point you in the right direction. And the trends that continue over the course of time, again, in these regional rivalries, you know, some schools that are right next to one another, kind of a hidden little gem where you're basically going to get raucous road support for a team. College basketball is phenomenal. The opportunity for the players, there's so many games on the betting board. There's so much information that's out there that you want to try to get your mitts on. You will have the ability at some point to find yourself a soft number or two during the course of a long college basketball season. I'm Brian Blessing for bangthebook.com. Always a pleasure to be with you in Vegas. Always inviting you to follow along on Twitter at bangthebook.